London in 1960 was a city on the brink of massive cultural and social change. Here's a snapshot of what it was like post-war recovery. The city was still recovering from many bombed areas had been cleared, but signs of damage remained. Reconstruction and modernization were underway. Architecture. You'd see a mix of Victorian buildings, war-era ruins, and emerging brutalist architecture. Fog and smog. Though the infamous London pea super fogs were declining after the Clean Air Act, 1956, air pollution was still an issue. Conservative yet evolving. Women often wore tailored dresses, gloves, and hats. Men were in suits and ties, but younger people were starting to reject this, leading into the more flamboyant styles of the swinging 60s. Music scene. Rock and roll was arriving from the US, but homegrown British acts were gaining traction. The Beatles hadn't exploded yet, but Cliff Richard was big. TV and radio. The BBC dominated. Television was becoming more common, especially in middle-class homes. Double-decker buses, still mostly the iconic red Routemasters. Cars. More people owned cars, but many still relied on public transport. The underground was essential. Daily life. Gender roles were traditional. The working class had limited upward mobility, but the welfare state was helping more people access education and health care. British Empire in decline. Decolonization was accelerating. Nigeria gained independence in 1960. Britain's global role was shrinking. Cold War tensions. As a US ally, the UK was deeply involved in NATO and the Cold War standoff. Conservative government. Harold Macmillan was Prime Minister. His government promoted economic growth and stability. Supermarkets were just beginning to appear, but many people still shopped at local markets and corner shops. Rationing had ended only in 1954, so people still remembered food shortages. British cuisine. Hearty, simple meals. Think meat pies, fish and chips, roast dinners. Foreign cuisine was rare. London 1960 was just before the explosion of the swinging 60s. By 1963, the city would become a global hub for music, fashion, and youth culture.